Hello and welcome to the second video on exercise 13. Here we are going to discuss the setup for this Minute app. I am including a zip file with all files located in the folders they need to be copied to within the Sizzle app. I did touch on a few points in the last video on security, data flow, and separation of concerns and mentioned using signals for state management. I want to go into a little more detail here. 1. Security. 2 points. I do need to emphasize that the data folder that you need to create must be in the root of the Sizzle app, not in src nor static folders. B. We also keep logic server-side for updating data. The +server.js files, which handle backend logic for API routes, processing requests, get, post, put, delete, are located in routes, preventing direct client access to business operations. Also located with these are the data manager files that handle the updates to the data. By keeping these files and the data server side, we ensure security of the data. One last thing on security, I have a generic API services.js file that handles fetch requests and contains no business logic and therefore does not need to be server side. If it had logic or handled private data, then it should be server side. Separation of concerns. This app is structured into distinct layers, ensuring modularity, maintainability, and security. 1. UI components render the interface and handle user interactions, no direct data logic. 2. Signals manage reactive state, keeping UI update separate from data operations. 3. API service centralized fetch, requests for data retrieval and updates. 4. Server routes +server.js handle API requests, ensuring validation and controlled access. 5. Data managers perform read-write operations on JSON data, keeping storage logic private. Each layer has a clear responsibility, reducing dependencies and improving scalability. 3. State management in this app is handled through signals, ensuring centralized, reactive, and decoupled state control. Key concepts include 1. Reactive state, managed using $state, enabling dynamic updates and efficient state storage. 2. Computed state, $derived, calculates values based on reactive dependencies. 3. Reactive effects, $effect, automates responses to state changes. 4. Shared state, signals allow global access, avoiding prop drilling and ensuring efficient communication. 5. API integration, signals handle backend interactions via fetch, decoupling the UI from data management logic. This approach simplifies data flow while keeping state management intuitive and flexible. 4. Data flow. Data flow in this app follows a structured process. 1. UI components bind to signals for state updates. 2. Signals manage reactive state and trigger updates. 3. API service handles fetch requests to backend endpoints. 4. Server +server.js processes requests and interacts with data managers. 5. Data managers read-write data securely, ensuring backend logic is private. This ensures clear separation, controlled updates, and secure data handling. And of course the response goes in the opposite direction. Okay, now for the actual setup, please refer to the slide and especially to the handout for the detail. I will show this in general here. First, the new folders you will need. 1. Data Trainer. Below is the top-level, root of Sizzle app folder file structure you need to prepare for this exercise a mini-app. So at the root level you have .svelkit, .vscode, Data's Trainer, so data is at the root with all these other folders and the JSON files are in the trainer folder. Node_modules, static. And in the data folder, you create subfolder trainer, which will hold the JSON data files. Let's take a look at what this looks like. As you can see, this is the data folder in the root of the Sizzle app, and then I have the trainer subfolder, and within that I have the 4 JSON files, which you can copy there from the provided zip. 2. Next, Routes API. In the src Routes API folder, you will need to create a trainer folder, src Routes API Trainer. Within this you will have subfolders, courses, participants, schedule, and trainers. Each of these has its own _server.js file and entity datamanager.js file. For example, in src Roots API Trainer Courses folder, you will have Course Data Manager.js as well as plus server.js file. 3. Chapter 4 Trainer. In your Chapter 4 folder, add a subfolder Trainer, src libtodata Chapter 4 Trainer. Most of the component files will go in this subfolder, and the main component x13_courses.svelte will go in the Chapter 4 folder. Okay, so those are the folders you will need to add. Let's take another look at my setup, as this is what you will need to have. So you have the data folder at the root level with the trainer subfolder and the 4 JSON data files. By being in this location to our server side, out of the reach of browsers. Now if I expand src to libtodata Chapter 4 Trainer, and you will see that we have 3 components here for each dataset, 12 in all. Next, down to Roots API. Note that we have a Trainer folder added here. And within this folder, we have subfolders for each dataset. This is because we have separate files for each dataset, being JSON, and need separate API endpoints for each. Inside each of these subfolders, you will have a plus server.js file and a data manager file. You will need to copy these from the provided zip file. There is more detail in the provided handout, so please check that to make sure you set up all folders and copy all necessary files, and you should be up and running. That's a wrap on the setup. In the next video, we will start to look at the code. See you there.